Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of In Just 1 Minute or So. Our topic today is intermittent fasting. What if I told you that breakfast being the most important meal of the day was wrong? Perhaps much of the nutritional dogma that we've been raised with is now outdated, like snacking all day long and eating many meals. Today, we know that eating all day long overtaxes our pancreas and our digestive system, and that the choices we make in terms of nutrition are profoundly impactful on our health. It's no longer exercise more and eat less. So, let's start by agreeing that meal timing and how frequently we're eating it's absolutely crucial. Intermittent fasting, aka time restricted feeding, involves eating at certain periods of each 24-hour cycle, or maybe even not eating for entire days in some cases. And therefore, because people don't eat during their sleep, almost everybody is employing some form of intermittent fasting or time restricted feeding. To fully comprehend intermittent fasting, you need to understand the three metabolic states. During any given day, your metabolism typically switches between the fat state and the post-absorptive, that is, after the food has been digested. So, what is the fat state? Well, it happens right after you eat, when your body is digesting the food and absorbing its nutrients. As soon as you see or smell food, your mouth may start to water, and digestion has already begun. When the body is fed, glucose, that is the blood sugar that comes from carbohydrates, the fats, and the proteins, are all absorbed across the intestinal membrane, and they enter your bloodstream to be used immediately for fuel, or if it is protein, for the muscle growth and the repair of the cells. Now, if you exercise shortly after eating, your body will process and immediately use these dietary fats and sugars that you were just ingesting because it needs the energy, right? If you do not use the energy, the excess glucose that is stored, that is going to be stored, is going to be stored in the liver and in the muscle cells, or as fat in the fat tissue. And the release of digested nutrients into the bloodstream makes the pancreas release the hormone insulin. Let's talk about the other state now, the post-absorptive. This happens when the food has been digested and it is absorbed and stored. No more nutrients are entering the bloodstream from the digestive system. The sugar concentration in the blood drops and the pancreas stops releasing insulin, but it starts releasing a different hormone, which is called glucagon. Glucagon directs the liver and the muscle cells, to release the stored blood sugar, which is now pulled back into the bloodstream for energy. This state is consequently the metabolic state occurring after the digestion, when food is no longer the body's source of energy, and it must rely on stored blood sugar for energy. Now there is the third state that we were saying, the fasting state. Now this state occurs when your body has been depleted of all its glucose and is now shifting into the fat burning state, which is known also as ketosis. So now your body is burning its glycogen, that means all those stored sugars in your muscles and liver. And this is when the metabolic switch occurs. So how it affects your cells and the hormones? Well, when you fast, several things happen in your body and on the cellular and molecular level. For instance, your body adjusts hormone levels to make stored fat more accessible. Your cells also initiate important repair processes, and there is a change in an expression of genes as well. So, what are the changes? The human growth hormone is one that really gets skyrocketed. It increases like 5 times its speed, and the benefits are fat loss and muscle gain. The insulin level also gets affected. Actually, it improves, and so it drops dramatically. The lower insulin levels then make your stored body fat being more accessible. Another benefit is the cellular repair. When you fast, your cells initiate the cellular repair, and this includes autophagy, where your cells digest and remove old and dysfunctional proteins that build up inside your cells. And finally, the gene expression. So there are changes in the function of the genes related to longevity and to the protection against disease. So these changes in hormone levels, cell function, and gene expression are responsible for your health benefits. And that is what intermittent fasting is so famous for. As a result of the previous benefits, then you will have definitely weight loss progress, less insulin resistance, and therefore less diabetes or risk of diabetes. The inflammation will be reduced in your body. Your heart also will be benefited by lowering the cholesterol. There will be less risk of cancer, of brain, also brain diseases, and anti-aging. It definitely extends the lifespan, at least in the studies done with animals. Now, in terms of how fasting will be acting on your metabolism, well, some people fear that it will slow it down. It does boost the metabolism if you're doing it correctly. So when you're fasting for more than 3 days, it may start like suppressing your metabolism, but if you do it for short periods, and that's why it's called intermittent fasting, then you will rip out. So you will be reaping more the benefits rather than any drawback. Now, what side effects could I expect from doing an intermittent fasting? Well, definitely hunger is the main side effect. You may also feel weak, and your brain may not perform as well as it used to it. This is a process of adjustment, and it's most of the time temporary. So it's until it gets accustomed to the new meal schedule. But if you have a medical condition, though, you should consult with your doctor before even trying to do fasting of any kind by yourself. This is particularly important if you are having diabetes, if you have problems with your blood sugar regulation, if you have low blood pressure, or you're taking any specific medications, or if you're underweight, or have a history of eating disorders, or you're a woman who is trying to conceive, or you're already pregnant or breastfeeding. So please always consult with your family doctor. Thank you so much for being there today, and looking forward to seeing you in another video.